Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is November 17th, 2023. We're standing at the Polderbaan. At the moment, the only runway being used for arrivals. The weather is so-so. On the weather radar, it looks like a lot of rain, but in actuality, it is limited to a few droplets. So, figured, let's go out, do an afternoon stream instead of a morning stream. This morning I wasn't sure yet about how hard it was going to rain, but all in all it wasn't too bad, so here we are. A warm welcome to all the viewers who have joined already. At the moment, Polderbaan is the only runway being used for arrivals. There's an Embraer coming in, and after that Embraer A388 Dreamliner will be the first heavy of the show. The current status quo. At the moment, refresh, Polderbaan, where we are standing, approximately over here, the only runway being used for arrivals. Aalsmeerbaan and Kaagbaan are being used for departures. At the moment, there's a little bit of wind from the south, handful of knots. There are a few clouds at 2,600 feet, broken clouds at 3,600 feet. The air temperature is 8 degrees Celsius. About the same as yesterday. No significant changes in the weather are expected. The weather radar looks a little like this. This is the past hour. We are standing over here at the yellow square. There's a little bit of precipitation in the vicinity. Not all of it reaches land, and it dissipates as it moves land inward. The majority seems to be moving south of us. So other than a few droplets, I'm not expecting a lot of rain this afternoon. In terms of the kings and queens, there are 2 queens on the way and 1 king. Flying over the Czech Republic is the Emirates A380. In its vicinity is another airplane arriving from Dubai, Cathay Pacific Cargo B748. And we also have a Suparna 747-400 that is arriving from China. ETA 1:45 p.m. for this queen, and the king 1:35 and 1:33. So rush hour, all 3 together. Further out globally, no more 747s are underway. Not sure if there are going to be a few that depart later in the afternoon from closer by airports, but for the time being, this seems to be it. Good afternoon, Jin. Good afternoon, Andrew, Jackie, Reinhard, Stefan, Miauw. Good day to you all. Edward, goedemiddag. Tina, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Koen, goedemiddag. Leo, goedemiddag. Ricardo, goedemiddag. Hey there, John. Good afternoon. Jan-Willem, goedemiddag. Hey, Mr. V1, goedemorgen. Greenlight, goedemiddag. DP 2017, William. Chunky, good day to you all. Captain Edibos, good to see you. Hope all is well. Right, we have our first heavy approaching. So time for me to get up from behind the laptop and go to the camera instead. We have a Dreamliner from TUI arriving from Aruba. Up next, Oranjestad, flight 361, 7878 Dreamliner. Began its flight 8 hours and 11 minutes ago. Lovely lighting here today. It is a bit dark. Big picture wise, this is what it looks like looking to the south. Looking immediately west, this is what it looks like. There's definitely some openings in the clouds over here. Moody, I would call it. Looking to the east, looking back to the north, this is what it currently all looks like over here. Hey Benjamin, mind to eye. John, Dan, good afternoon to you all. Aku, good afternoon. Johanna, goedemiddag. All right, our next airplane will be, let me see, a Transavia 737 that is arriving from Barcelona. Flight 5132, 737-800, left Barcelona 2 hours and 6 minutes ago. The airplane is 12 years old. Its first flight was in February 2011. Camille, salut! Salut mon ami! Good to see you again. Arjan, goedemiddag. Arjan asks about the construction vehicles. I have absolutely no idea. They are doing something. That's for sure. Reversing. But that's not what you were asking about. Hey Madeira Aviation Spotting, good afternoon. Good to see you again. Hey there Goosey, good afternoon, good to see you, or good morning for you. Just turned afternoon over here, half an hour ago. But that is local time. Han, goedemiddag. Lena, goedemiddag. Hadi Ruben, goedemiddag. Ruben will be flying to Costa Rica next week on KL flight 759. That must be something you're looking forward to. Probably better cloudy skies than you have over here. Although the backdrop is quite nice right now. Airplane's taking off from runway 24. Curious to see if the A380 is going to land on this runway. It is expected a bit later than normal. And according to the website that predicts runway usage for the upcoming hours, supposedly this would be the only runway open for arrivals at the time of the arrival of the A380. Time will tell, we'll see. Hadi Rolf, goedemiddag. So, probably a bit of precipitation over the North Sea west of me, but most of it dissolves as it moves further west, land inwards. Looks like we'll have to wait a little bit for the next airplane to arrive. But departures definitely still going on in the distance. Runway 18 left is where this airplane has taken off from. And looking at flight radar, it does seem that there is traffic coming this way, including a Dreamliner 10 arriving from Atlanta. There's also supposedly a BizJet going for Schiphol Oostbaan, which will be flying over the city. Now, that should be somewhere over there. I'm not sure if we can see it over here already. It is at 1,600 feet, probably already a little bit more to the right. I'm looking visually to see if I can spot it already. Maybe I need to look a bit more to the left, I'm not sure. Plus I'm also not sure if we can see it at all. Hoping we might, but no guarantees. For now it doesn't look like we can see it. So let's turn the camera back to the north then, because I do believe I see a little twinkling light already up ahead. Ever so faint. But that is our next airplane, KLM flight 1856, an Embraer 190 arriving from Düsseldorf. In the SkyTeam livery. And that would be the sound of my thermos that I just opened to take a sip of coffee that I brought along. Ah, Russell also present again. My good friend Russell the Crow. Back to autofocus. Get him sharp in view for you guys. Did bring a bag of kruidnoten along with me. Treats that are part of the celebration of the Fest of Sinterklaas in the Netherlands. As long as he stays away from them, we'll be good. Good afternoon, Geekaboo. Lois, good afternoon. Ikke Pikkum. Goedemiddag. Nice name. Aviator René, goedemiddag. Now if you look closely at 9 o'clock, you can also see the Dreamliner already behind the Embraer 190. In the foreground we have KLM flight 1856, the SkyTeam liveried Embraer 190 arriving from Düsseldorf. Short flight, of course, 27 minutes of flight time as we speak. Faint glide slope shot established. And Tracker Spot will also be flying from Schiphol to Curaçao on December 5th. Good afternoon, Blackburst. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope all is well. The particular airplane we are now looking at is 11 years old. Had its first flight in April 2012. KLM style landing, keeping up the speed, vacate late, sooner to the gate. They should patent that if they haven't done so already. Quickly turning back the camera to the north for that Dreamliner that is arriving. But not before having a look at Sally the Seagull, who is also present. Good to see her again. Now, next up, KLM flight 622. Arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, a Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner. Has been flying now for 7 hours and 37 minutes, 737. The Dreamliner itself is 4 years old, had its first flight in November 2019. Hey, Janus, Evan. Good day to you both. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you too. And Evan, I think we'll have to wait until spring arrives. This weekend is again going to be a very rainy weekend. I'm not sure if I will be able to go out tomorrow. Looking at the 24 radar ahead, looks like it is going to rain all day. Not sure yet about this Sunday, but I need a full weekend of sunshine and no precipitation. And then too, I still have to wait and see if my uncle can also help me out. It is a two-man job. It is also a full weekend job. So for the time being, everything has been put on hold. We're patiently waiting for better weather to come, but so far autumn over here has been very wet, one of the wettest if not the wettest in recorded history. Now, recorded history sounds big, but we only started recording weather statistics in 1906 over here. Still, right, another airplane is moving onto the glide slope up ahead. Hey there, Peter. Hey there, Eddie. Late start today indeed, Eddie. Had to wait and see what the precipitation was actually going to be like. If you look on the weather radar today, for the Netherlands, all day it looks like in the western provinces it is continuously going to rain. In actuality, only occasionally a few droplets have fallen. So this morning I postponed going out, figured I would do some of the cleaning and laundry that I would normally do after the stream, and figured I would go out in the afternoon, the local afternoon, hoping it was going to stay mostly dry, and so far that definitely has been the case. Got a couple of airplanes coming this way. The first airplane only barely visible. Visibility is not that great to the north. The first airplane to arrive is an Embraer 190 from BA City Flyer arriving from London City. Got an A320 arriving from Venice after that from EasyJet. Also a 737-800 arriving from Manchester is coming this way. Marcel, goedemiddag. Chunky, good afternoon. Chunky says you're Dutch. Surely you follow cyclocross too. I have never heard of cyclocross. Is that a sport? Is that a YouTuber? I live under a stone most of the time, so no idea who that is or what that is. Hadi Paul, goedemiddag. Tuning in from a dry Noordwijk. Ronald, goedemiddag, good afternoon. Captain Cripple, good afternoon. You probably are also picking up the sound of the departure that is passing us by, left of us, going to Gothenburg. 737-800, already above the clouds, no longer visible, but still audible. Slowly but surely the contours of the Embraer 190 are getting more clear. I'm scanning a little bit around it. Oh right, immediately behind it, a next pair of lights, which will be the A320s from EasyJet, arriving from Venice. The number 3 should also already be on the glide slope. KLM arriving from Manchester, 737-800. Though I'm not seeing it yet. Let me have a look behind me on the laptop screen. Oh yeah, oh they're almost aligned, all three right now. Nice. Right, well, big picture wise it does look a bit better, more open. So I'm hoping that the glide slope views will improve a little bit over time. And good afternoon, or good morning still for you, FFC Vesta. Rudolf, goedemiddag. And in the meantime, Ronald, thank you so much for Your continued support celebrating 3 months of AMS Live membership. And Ronald writes, proud to be part of the AMS Live family. Well, we're happy to have you. I'm very happy to have you, and I hope that you're going to stay a member for many more months to come. Congratulations, Ronald, and also thank you for your continued support. It even has the letters of London City in its registration. Peter, goedemiddag. In Assen it is sunny, nice. Send some of that sunshine over to us over here in the west. That's always welcome. Berend, goedemiddag. Next up is going to be EasyJet flight 24071, an A320 arriving from Venice, where it left 1 hour and 40 minutes ago. The airplane is 7 years old. Its first flight was in January 2016. Will be followed by a Boeing 737-800 arriving from Manchester from KLM, and behind that we are going to see Shamrock arriving from Dublin in an A320. Hadi Sam, goedemiddag. And we have all three in view right now, including the Shamrock A320. Now, interestingly enough, you could see in the METAR that the wind was mostly from the south, and if anything a little bit from the southwest, if I recall correctly, but we definitely see this airplane crabbing a little bit facing us, so that is interesting. Apparently there is a little bit of wind from the southwest right now. The windmills are also spinning in the background ever so slowly, not too hard. We have an incoming truck. Well, I do know this company, and they do sewage. You can clearly see this van is also meant to clean sewages. So I think it has to do with sewage cleaning around the runway. What is this I see? Patches of blue. Can you guys see it as well? Definitely some openings. And it does look like the wind is blowing away from us a little bit from this angle. So just a teensy bit of crosswind for the airplanes now landing. A little bit of crabbing, you can clearly see. Good afternoon. ARD 102. OFEC. Phil Tovey, good afternoon mate. Good to see you again. Fazil, good afternoon. Was that a Delta repair truck, Paul asks. Right, well, again they're doing something with the sewage over here. This company does sewage cleaning. Next up, Shamrock, flight 604, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. 18 years old already. Flight time 1 hour and a minute. A320 with behind it a 737-800 from KLM arriving from Prague, and behind that we are going to see an E2 Embraer 195. Hey there, Paul, Mr. Biker, good afternoon, good to see you again. Still morning, well, only 10 more minutes. And then it is afternoon for you too. Right, so at the moment I'm feeling a few droplets, which is a recurring pattern. A few droplets and then again dry. I think we're going to see the first butt shot of the day. There we go. It's interesting because I'm looking up, I'm looking behind me where the wind is supposedly coming from, and I see only thin clouds and even patches of blue if I look directly up. No sooner has the airplane vacated or the next one is already touching down, arriving from the Czech Republic, from Prague. KLM 737-800 with an E2 Embraer 195 behind it. So, few droplets right now. The odd thing is that if you look around now, you can see patches of blue everywhere. Blue, blue, blue in the distance, blue over there, blue to the south, blue to the southwest. So where this all is coming from beats me. It even feels like it is intensifying a little bit. Right, well, got my cleaning cloth with me, so if there are going to be some droplets on the lens, I will clean that up once it gets dry again. If it really is starting to get wet, might have to get out the umbrella, but... Alright, E2 Embraer 195 up next, arriving from Stockholm, KLM flight 1108. Flight time 1 hour 40 minutes. We can see an airplane in the background arriving from the east to the glide slope, probably number 3. Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington, I think. No, even number 4, Embraer 190 arriving from Basel. Right, and this E2, 1 year old, first flight January 2022. And we have K4 in the Ford Ranger Raptor also here. Hey, goeiedag! Right, well, it seems like we're right in the spot where the only bit of rain around us is falling. Next up, Vueling flight 8309, arriving from Barcelona, Airbus A320, left Barcelona 2 hours and 15 minutes ago. The airplane is 16 years old. Its first flight was in August of the year 2007. And this airplane no longer seems to be crabbing. Previous couple, some of them at least, were facing us a little bit more. This is more in line with the wind that is supposedly blowing according to the METAR. I have to be careful that I don't slip away here. The grassy areas next to the runway are so satiated with water. It's actually quite, maybe you pick it up on the mic, it's a bit muddy over here. And again with the little spiders, there are now, I'm counting 3 now that are trying to make a web over my laptop tent, and the cover, the bag, the tripod bag that I used to cover my power supply from the rain, to shield it from the rain. Hadi Gosse, goedemiddag. Is het bij jou droog in Aalsmeer? Over here it is raining. Sander, goedemiddag. Martijn, goedemiddag. En Keith, good afternoon. Embraer 175 arriving from Teesside or Darlington. Now touching down. Again, very moody over here. Gotta love the colors and the lighting over here in this time of year. Also looks like hiding behind the clouds in the foreground is a cumulonimbus cloud. Anyway, Embraer 190 arriving from Basel. This is KLM flight 1986. We'll be touching down after a flight of 1 hour and 11 minutes, and the airplane is 13 years old. Its first flight was in August of the year 2010. And another KLM style landing, keeping up the speed and vacating late. Hey Jendrosek, goedemiddag, good afternoon, good to see you again. Typical boy weather situation, yeah. Looks like I'm still a magnet for rain. Oh dear. Well. Let's have a look. Is the lens still clean? I think it is. No droplets on it. There are a few droplets on my phone screen, so let me fix that in a moment. If they start rolling down due to gravity, my phone interprets it as a swipe and unwanted things will happen. Wiped it clean, it's dry again, so there we go. Hey there, Peter K. Good afternoon. Jurgen. Good afternoon. Erik, goedemiddag. Droog in Barendrecht. Well, at the moment it is now also dry over here. Let me turn around to the west. There's a lovely bit of cloudiness visible Make sure that the camera wires don't get tangled. There's a little bit just west of me. Looks really nice over here. As long as it doesn't cause rain and wetness over here, I will be a happy camper. But you can see in the fields just how much precipitation we've had. It's probably going to be similar in many parts of Europe. The field. Aren't you supposed to grow rice in underwater conditions? We might switch from wheat to rice agriculture here in the Netherlands if this will become a more regular thing. But there you go, look at that, isn't that nice? Right, well, it looks like now runway 27 has also opened up for arrivals. So we have to share the inbound traffic. Looking at flight radar, that doesn't bode well. Probably means that the A380 is also going to land on that runway if it is going to stay open until then. And the A380 was expected in half an hour or so. Let's have a look at the current status quo, shall we? So right now all three heavies are approaching from the east and expected within the hour. Runway usage has in fact, well, officially it hasn't yet opened, but runway 27, if you look on flight radar, definitely is in use right now. The weather, probably not much change. Well, the crabbing can be explained because the wind has changed to a little bit more southwesterly, although still a handful of knots. Broken clouds at 3,500 feet, few clouds at 2,600 feet. Past hour, refresh, we're at the yellow square over here. Yeah, well, we'll see what it is going to bring. Another airplane in the distance coming this way. Let me quickly paste the METAR into the ticker for you guys so you can read it back. And runway usage, at least arrivals, also runway 27 we can add to that. Alright, well, next up, Speedbird A319, flight 434, arriving from London Heathrow. Flight time 44 minutes. A 22-year-old airplane, first flight March 2001. And a little airplane actually using the reversers for a change. Not just opening the slots, but actually using them. Right, another 737 coming in. KLM flight 1444 arriving from Aberdeen. You can definitely see it is opening up a little bit. The calm before the storm tomorrow. A lot of precipitation all day, so that is not something to look forward to. This is a Boeing 737-700, again arriving from Aberdeen, where it left an hour and 3 minutes ago. This airplane is 15 years old. First flight was in October 2008. Howdy Rifat, goedemiddag. John says, I think you should show your face more often. Well, the channel is about aviation and not about me, isn't it? So right. Let's see. Transavia arriving from Valencia and the 777 arriving from Guayaquil will be coming next. Now, can we already see something of the 777? Visibility to the north is quite good. It should probably be somewhere over there then, provided we are able to see it at all. But it's probably going to pass in front of the... Oh yeah, there it is. I was about to say it's probably going to pass in front of the cloud and not through it or after it. So that's the 777 arriving from Guayaquil. Now just above Dutch airspace. At 3,800 feet, just north of Heemskerk. Again, I'm feeling a few droplets. That is so weird. It's like the other day at the other location near the McDonald's, where I was also surrounded by blue skies in all wind directions. It was blue, but it poured and it poured. There was hardly any wind. But luckily the rain is nowhere near as fierce as on that location on that day then. This is perfectly doable. Oh yeah, the thermos was locked. Don't want my coffee to be diluted with rain water. Also don't want it to cool off and become iced coffee, because that is not what I ordered. Right, well. And that's how you end up with one of those shots where the airplane enters the field of view from the left or from the right. So in the foreground we have Transavia 737-800 arriving from Valencia, flight 6336. A nice symmetric number. Flight time of 2 hours and 28 minutes as we speak to get from Valencia to where it is right now. A 14-year-old airplane. Had its first flight in the year 2009 in April. And again, looking up, I'm not seeing any dark clouds directly over me, so beats me where this rain is coming from. Well, the sun is shining and blue all over, and yet ironic. And little spiders all over the place. And they keep trying to build webs on my camera or other equipment. Alright, well, Latam Cargo 767 also coming as number 4 by the looks of it. So even though runway 27 is open, there's definitely nice traffic coming this way. This is KLM flight 751. It is a 777-200 arriving from Guayaquil, Ecuador, with a flight time of 10 hours and 17 minutes as we speak. It is 20 years old. The first flight was in September 2003. Riley asks if I will be going plane spotting tomorrow. Probably not. Don't count on me being out tomorrow. Have a look at the weather radar, bioradar, 24 hours in advance. They are predicting rain from sunrise to sunset. From dusk to, no, not dusk till dawn, dawn to dusk. Right. Again, this is what it looks right above. Blue sky mostly. Definitely nothing that you would think a lot of rain would fall out of, but apparently it did. See that there are a few droplets on the lens, so let me clean that up. Definitely something going on over there in the distance. That beautifully illuminated cloud. Would not want to be under it. You would probably get pretty wet by the looks of it. It's nothing substantial, but it looks big on the screen. Teeny little droplets, nothing big, but there you go. We should be good again. Hadi Infinity, goedemiddag. Mr. Jackson, good afternoon. Good to see you, Michael. Hope all is well. Right. Glide slope shot established. 2 airplanes on it. In the foreground, Vueling, arriving from Alicante, A320. Behind it, 737-700 arriving from Geneva. And pretty soon arriving from the left should be another 737-700. From Transavia, not from KLM. Also arriving from Alicante. But by the looks of it, we won't be able to capture them all in the same shot. Delayed butt shot. Long distance butt shot. Right. Let's have a look. So the 747s and the A380 are still in Germany. We'll be entering Dutch airspace soon. If you guys could have a look on omgevingsinfo. No, not omgeving. Yeah, omgevingsinfo it was. We can learn the runway assignments, which they probably receive as soon, well, pretty soon after having entered Dutch airspace. Then we'll know if we are going to see them or not. Not too optimistic, but you never know, we might get lucky. Okay, then butt shot coming in. Now, unfortunately, for traffic going to runway 27, you cannot see that much from over here. So, for instance, this is one of the airplanes that is now going to land on runway 27. Obviously, when it's a 747 or an A380, you will definitely see a bit more detail. But it's mostly the contours that you see and not so much very specific details. Let's turn around. Got 737-700 about to touch down, and Latam Cargo 767 behind it. I'm curious to see and listen if, and hear I should say, to see if they are going to use their reversers from Latam Cargo. Last time I think they did quite nicely. I don't think there's a whole lot of spray on the runway right now that we can see, but at least we will be getting some nice audio. Alright, A380 buiten Polderbaan, that is unfortunate, but thank you for the update, Nico. So, runway 27 for the A380. Not very surprised, of course, by that, but still, it would have been nice. Latam Cargo flight 1505 up next, arriving from Miami, Florida. 767-300 ER. Flight time 8 hours and 14 minutes. 12 years old, first flight, November 2011. Well, it doesn't seem to be very heavily loaded. Hadi Tony, goedemiddag. Next up is Welling. A320 flight 8353 arriving from Alicante. No? Valencia. Not ALC but VLC. Current flight time is 2 hours and 28 minutes. It's a 10-year-old airplane that had its first flight in March 2013. Hey Curly, good afternoon. Good to see you. Also having a look. Oh, that's still far out. I saw on flight radar 777 from Qatar going to runway 27, but that is still too far to be able to see from over here. Now for a moment it did look like there was a bit more wind from the southwest, with a few airplanes crabbing a little bit, pointing their nose towards us on final, but now we no longer see them do that. Seems to be landing pretty straight. There's hardly any wind to begin with. You can see that the water is almost like a mirror. Now, having a look to see if I can already see that 777 from Qatar, but I actually don't see it yet. That rain cloud is definitely still there, beautifully illuminated. And our next airplane over there. In the meantime, Russell has taken a seat, checking out if I'm doing my work properly. He seems to be relaxed, so far I think I have his approval. A couple of airplanes on a short circuit, doing their base leg quite nearby, and I did see one already. There we go. I think that's the Transavia 737 arriving from Ibiza. There's another Embraer 190 behind it that is also following this course. Looking over the camera to see if I can spot it already, but I don't. Russell wants some kruidnoten. He is waiting for it. I'm pretty sure if I were to throw a couple in his direction, he would take them and eat them. I'm not sure if sugary cookies are that good for his intestines. Do want him to stay healthy. So this is Transavia flight 5356 arriving from Faro, Boeing 737-800. Flight time 2 hours and 49 minutes to get here from Portugal. 5 years old, first flight, March 2018. This you are seeing, you might be wondering, yes, it is the sun actually shining over here. How about that? Russell is also taking notice and is letting me know. He also saw it. Now, let me have a quick look. See where those supers and heavies are. Okay, so the A380 is leading in the vicinity of Zwolle. Okay, knowing that it will go to Polderbaan. Right, okay. So another 737-800 from Transavia up next, flight 5676 arriving from Ibiza, flight time 2 hours and 31 minutes as we speak. And Embraer 190 behind it, also doing the same short approach. Oh, you might also pick up on some tire sounds. Hadi Danny, goedemiddag. Alright, just zooming out of flight radar to see where the A380 and 747-8 are. Still a bit further out, so time to do more arriving traffic on this runway. The next airplane that we saw doing the short approach is now on final. KLM flight 1556, Embraer 190 arriving from Turin. I'm trying to get the spiders off my camera. Another two set out in the open. This is arriving from Turin in the north of Italy, and flight time is accordingly 1 hour and 41 minutes as we speak. 11 years old, this airplane. First flight was in January 2012, and at 9 o'clock you can see another airplane, an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Nantes in France. Flight 1456, 1456. Flight time 1 hour and 13 minutes. First up, a regular Embraer 190 and then an E2 Embraer 195. Captain Willy. That was Captain Willy, trademark. No question. Lovely that we were able to see him before turning the camera further to the east in a minute when the A380 will be approaching runway 27. Closely followed by a Boeing 747-8, which I'm assuming, guys, is also going to runway 27. And what about the 74 from Suparna? Has it entered Dutch airspace already? And if so, where is it going to go to for its landing? E2 Embraer 195 up next, arriving from Nantes. Now a flight time of 1 hour and 15 minutes. The airplane a year old. First flight was in March of the year 2022. Nice sunlight illuminating the livery. Can have a great look at those massive engines. No reverse or landing, as you guys can see. The slots have stayed closed all the while. Alright, let's see. Emirates A380 and the 747-8 now over the province of Flevoland, moving to the southwest. So we still have a couple of minutes before they first become visible. In the meantime, two airplanes visible in our view over here. In the foreground, EasyJet A319 arriving from Glasgow, flight 23173, with a flight time of 59 minutes as we speak. 13 years old, first flight May 2010. Behind it is a KLM Boeing 737-800 arriving from Madrid. Hey Rick, goedemiddag. All is well indeed, definitely. Hope the same goes for you, buddy. It's been a while since we saw you for a more extended period of time in the stream. You seem to have been very busy lately. Hope all is well, despite the busyness. Could you guys also have a look if the 747 from Suparna is already over Dutch airspace? I'm not sure if it is already, but if it is, what runway it has been assigned to. That might still be a candidate for the Polderbaan, actually, but all going to runway 27. Okay, thanks Paul. That is very unfortunate. Can I show you guys? Can I show you guys? So I was about to take a sip of coffee, which I have over here adjacent to my laptop tent, and can you see the wires already? Can you see those bleeping little spiders have already created webbing? Particularly the tripod casing that I use to shield my power supply from the rain from. Oh man, it's also on the lower end of the umbrella that I have over my utility cart over here. Holy shit. Anyway, I was about to go to the laptop, not to show you guys spider webs, but to highlight Jerry's super chat message. Thank you so much, Jerry. Jerry says, my liver doctor says I don't need to see her anymore. I am celebrating with 3 new bottles. That's the spirit, my friend. And spirits we shall have. You're already spirited, but 3 more bottles will definitely keep the doctor away. Screw apples. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. No way. Bottles of hard liquor. Glide Slope juice. Thank you so much, Jerry, for your super chat. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much, buddy. Now, I'm going to point the camera to the east because I think we should start seeing the A380 somewhere over there. This is the preceding airplane, I think. So a little bit wider field of view and a little bit more to the left. We hopefully are going to see a behemoth taunting gravity. At least that's what we should be seeing in theory. Scanning back, there we go. Right, so behind this we also are going to see the 7478. Well guys, again, if you are next to me, you should see the reflections that I have to look through. My screen is tiny, it's not very bright, and it is now very reflective, so you miss details quite easily. There's no way I can swivel the angle to make the reflections go away, unfortunately. And Johanna, I have a utility cart, Polderbaan. Can place all the gear in that. Walk up to the spot over here. Works a treat. Can load it with 80 kilos of luggage. So even small children you can transport with them. Well, far away and having been sent to the wrong runway is EK147, number 9 worldwide, most tracked on flight radar by 464 people as we speak, arriving from Dubai. The A388-800, the daily flight standard livery, judging the photo of flight radar. AMS Live members have access to the latest iteration of the standard livery with the ribbon tail, which in my opinion is much nicer. Flight time normally around 6.5 hours. Today, thus far, 6 hours 45 minutes, so might have had a little bit of headwind underway in the airplane. That will now vanish from our view, except for the tail perhaps. 7 years old. Again, flying in May of the year 2016. I'm pretty sure that we are not going to see it anymore once it has gone after behind all the stuff that we are seeing right now. And also having been sent to the wrong runway is the 7478 immediately behind it, Cathay Pacific Cargo. It is a Boeing 7478 Cathay Pacific Cargo, flight 2067, also arriving from Dubai, but from the other airport. There are two, I believe, if not more. This airplane has been flying now for 7 hours and 12 minutes, considerably longer than the A380 has been underway, which is interesting, because normally this would also have been a flight that approximates 6.5 hours. This airplane is 11 years old, older than the A380 we saw land just now. First flight February 2012. Unfortunately, gone. Now, let me also Trying to get a few more spiders off my gear. You can see that not only Russell is here, but Cheryl is too. We now have an unobstructed view of that cloud that has been there all along. Isn't that an anvil? All right, let's see. Ah, there it is. More traffic coming this way. 2 airplanes, Ryanair, and behind it an EasyJet A320. I'm also hearing a turboprop. Can I spot it? I think I do. I think I can. And that would be an S22T. Can I click on it? No. Now I have Ryanair. The labels interpositioned. Keep clicking on the wrong label. Privately owned. Going from Leeds to Amsterdam. Interesting. Cirrus SR22T. Better audible than visible, but lucky break, I was able to catch it. This is Ryanair flight 420 arriving from Dublin. 737-800 flight time 59 minutes. The airplane is 16 years old. Its first flight was in August 2007. Almost looks like a regular sunny day now. Alrighty, Ryanair butt shot coming in. Let's see, where is that other 747? Turning onto the glide slope for runway 27, so just a few minutes before we should be able to see it. Looking ahead, I'm not seeing it yet, so let's turn back to see the landing of the next airplane, and then I think we should go ahead and scan for that 747. I'll bet you that as soon as it has landed, they are going to close runway 27 again. That would definitely be typical. Speedbird flight 2542, arriving from London Gatwick, A320, 41 minutes of flight time. 22-year-old airplane, first flight June 2001. I was about to say July, but June. Hey! What do you know? A solitary coot. All by him or herself, by the looks of it. I'm not seeing any other air. No companionship for this one. Come on, focus. Right, well, somewhere over there a 747 is approaching to yet again the wrong runway, and I think I see it. There it is. Right. Suparna Airlines, flight 87417 arriving from Hefei in China. Flight of 10 hours and 57 minutes thus far. The oldest of the bunch. This is considerably older, this airplane, than the previous 747 or the A380. 32 years old. First flight was in August 1991. Trying to blow away a spider that was trying to walk over my phone screen. Spider webs all over the place here. Right, well, that was it. The rush hour, but at the wrong runway. Things have opened up nicely now in the meantime. That is a difference of night and day. Looking around now, looking to the west. And looking to the south. Looking to the east. Absolutely crazy, this. Freaking spiders over here. Right. Back to the business at hand. Transavia flight 6116 arriving from Malaga, 737-800, flight time 2 hours and 58 minutes. 13 years old, first flight was in June 2010. Got a couple of folks over here. It's not too crowded over here though. the same goes for the water. I was surprised to even see that one could. Is that a spider web wire? Thought I saw, yeah. Thought I saw the reflection of webbing. Absolutely. Did not have any issues with spiders along the other runways. It seems to be a Polderbaan specific issue. (737) arriving from London Heathrow, and a little wheelie from the pilot. Okay, let's start landing. Right, now. Interestingly, they haven't closed the Polderbaan yet, runway 27. I was thinking it would have been typical if they closed it immediately after the second 747 had landed. But it is still open. This runway 2. Air France flight 1740 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle coming up next. And interestingly enough, traffic arriving from Liverpool passing over us. Can we see it already? Yeah, I do have it. Which is going to land on runway 27. That is interesting. Alright, now. Don't see any traffic going to this runway anymore. Could it be that they are going to close down this runway? Wouldn't be surprised if they did. That would be very typical. Let's have a look at runway usage. Well, it says both runways have opened. Could also be that they might switch it up and start using this for departures. Hardly any wind. Or maybe they just keep the runway open for arrivals. And we're in a temporary lull of not having any traffic. Is there any airplanes that you guys can see on omgevingsinfo that are assigned to this runway still? Bird controller is at least doing its thing over there. Bird controller is at least busy doing a check of the runway, it seems like. Question is, will they then continue with inbound traffic on this runway, or are they going to maybe change it to outbound traffic, which I think would be strange because they have been using runways 18 left and runway 24 for the entire day now. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense if they did do that. Now, I'm also hearing an airplane above me, but no contrails visible. Apparently not a lot of humidity in the upper atmosphere, or the airplane is not so high yet. Where's the... oh, there it is. Okay, SAS over Lelystad, assigned to Polderbaan. EasyJet from Birmingham. Okay, so then this is probably the preparation for the closure of runway 27. You typically see that they do a runway inspection before closing the other runway, making sure that this runway is prepared to be the only runway being used for arrival. So we'll have to sit back and wait for a few minutes. Is that Transavia flying off the coast, arriving from Seville? Is that going to land on this runway? Probably is. It is already at 3,500 feet and descending. Checking to see if I can spot it visually by any chance, but let's see, where is it? It's alright, it's already a bit further to the north. Not yet. We might catch it. If it's going to turn base. Believe me, bleeping spiders all over. It is crazy. Let me see if I can show you. So over here I have my utility cards and I have an umbrella over my backpacks. Can you see the spider webs? I'm not sure if you can see all the wires. They are there, and all kinds of teeny little spiders. They aren't imaginary. I'm not seeing things. It is a bit of a mess here. K4 speeding by. Right, so this I think is preparation for the closure of runway 27, meaning that this will pretty soon probably be the only runway for arrivals. That is what I think it is. And the Transavia confirmed by you guys to come over here, so that is good news. But we have to wait just a little bit for it to show itself. Right, I think I have the Transavia coming this way. Birds also. Birds are also coming this way. No sooner has the bird controller left. Right, now I'm bugged by reflections again. Where's that airplane? First see if I can spot it visually. Still not seeing it. The Coot at least is visible a bit more clearly. Right, now where's that airplane? No. Spider was descending off the edge of my cap. Now, all well and good with the sun behind me, but it makes looking at my screen a little bit more difficult. Luckily, I can see the airplane a bit more clearly on my laptop screen. There we go. Right, this is Transavia arriving from Seville. We should be seeing from the right approach an SAS A320 arriving from Copenhagen, according to flight radar, any moment now. Way up ahead, arriving from the left, should be another A320. Let's see, can we make out that A320 already? Just a bit lower or a bit higher. Nowhere to be seen yet. Ah, far left. There we go. Right, in the foreground on the right is Transavia flight 6730, arriving from Seville, Boeing 737-800. With a flight time of 2 hours and 46 minutes, arriving from Seville, 19 years old, first flight March 2004. So what started out as a very moody stream with a lot of cloudiness has turned into a nice sunny stream with the sun on the right side to illuminate the liveries. The next two A320s visible. In the foreground we have SAS flight 547 arriving from Copenhagen, and behind it is Top Air Portugal arriving from Lisbon. The SAS arriving from Copenhagen has been flying now for 59 minutes. Par for the course. Copenhagen is about an hour's flight away from Amsterdam. The airplane is 16 years old. Its first flight was in March 2007. Somebody is saying that a 777 arriving from Lima is expected in 11 minutes. That's nice. I did see that there were still a couple of heavies underway for this afternoon. Not sure how many of them have gone to runway 27 just now with their opening. This airplane is 16 years old already. First flight was in March 2007. I do have good news, by the way. Yesterday, after coming home, I ordered the replacement part for the drag mechanism of my pan axis, so the left-right movement. Now hardly takes a breeze to get it moving, but that means that the whole setup is also susceptible to wind. Right now it's not windy, so still able to get decent pans out of the tripod, but it needs more resistance. A new drag mechanism has been ordered, should be arriving in 2 weeks or so. The replacement itself takes 15 minutes and you can wait for that while you come over to the store. So just waiting for that confirmation that it has arrived, and hopefully that should also make the setup more durable in windy conditions, getting more smooth airplane tracking. And I can definitely tell that it is a Friday, looking at all the jokes about being wrapped up or having wraps for dinner. Hard to wrap my head around it. But it's better to be tangled in a web of spiders than a web of lies. Hadi Gerrit, goedemiddag. Right, moped passing by. Low sun over here behind the clouds a little bit. Chimney smoke still passing up, mostly vertically. Just got 2 more spiders blown away. And more webbing on the other side. They're also in the furry of my the dead cat of my microphone. Right, big ass engines, relatively small fuselage. That can only be one airplane. It is the E2 Embraer 195, and this is KLM flight 1266 arriving from Marseille that we are seeing. Flight time of 1 hour and 50 minutes. The airplane is brand new, which means less than a year old, and in this case the first flight of the airplane we're seeing was July this year. The next airplane behind it is an EasyJet A319 arriving from Birmingham. And arriving from the right should be airplane number 3 somewhere. Oh yeah. At 10 o'clock of the E2. Moving to the left. That is a KLM 737-800 arriving from Oslo. Number 4 is going to be the 777 arriving from Lima, which I'm looking for in the sky. Can I see it? Surely it must be visible by now. It's a big plane. Hey there, Veldy. Guten Tag. Let's see if we can find the triple, which is now flying base up ahead. All right, let's see. 777. Got it. That is now the number 3. Arriving from Lima, 777-300ER. Base, and it is turning final. Nice reflection there, momentarily. Again, I'm hearing an airplane overhead, looking up, not seeing any contrails. You can definitely see that there's a bit of haziness. Ooh, is it overshooting a little bit? I think it might be. Yeah, it looks also like it's overshooting on flight radar. Makes for some nice dynamics. Might actually be a nice thumbnail perhaps, depending on how well you can see the latter 2 airplanes. Alrighty, first up, EasyJet A319 arriving from Birmingham. Has taken this airplane 44 minutes to get here from Birmingham thus far. This airplane is 14 years old. Its first flight was in December 2008. Good afternoon, Tiger. Good to see you again. Hope you're not tangled in webs like I am. Next up is this KLM 737-800 arriving from Oslo, KLM flight 1144. Now, back to the triple then. KLM flight 744 arriving from Lima, Peru, 777-300ER. Flight time 10 hours 57 minutes as we speak. The airplane is 10 years old. Its first flight was in May 2013. Meanwhile, I am blowing away spiders on all sides of the tripod, camera and microphone. Now, Lima Alpha Delta, thank you so much for saying hi. And thank you for your kind words. I will try to keep up the good shit. Although it is a very quiet afternoon today, I have to make sure I don't fall asleep. Not as much heavies as normally in the morning. Now also a big thank you to Hans, who just now gifted 5 memberships. That is very much appreciated. Thank you so much, Hans. And also, if you just received one of 5 memberships that Hans just gifted, don't forget to say hi to Hans. Those people who just got gifted a membership, welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Hope you enjoy in the lounge. Got new seats and they should be comfy. And thanks again, Hans, for gifting 5 memberships just now. Trying to look up where that noise is coming from. There's probably an airplane somewhere behind that cloud. Either that or I'm going blind. I have trouble seeing the airplanes sometimes. I do hear them. You'd think it would be the other way around, that I would still be able to see, but with all the loud noises over here that my hearing has gone bad, but that is not the case, luckily. But it is hard to see the airplanes every now and then. Next up is another Ryanair arriving from Dublin, 737-800, flight 3006. Flight time an hour exactly as we speak. 17 years old, this airplane, first flight October 2006. Now Ryanair sometimes uses their reversers, so hopefully the pilot on this airplane landing will too. That is definitely the good stuff. Ryanair seldomly disappoints in that respect, which I'm happy about. All those KLM airplanes landing quietly, all being considerate for people living around the airport. Tuh. Oh, saw a spider. I think you guys must have seen it as well. Trying to get his free 15 minutes of fame, eh? Alright, two more airplanes visible right now. In the foreground we have a Swiss A320-100 arriving from Zurich, with a flight time of 1 hour and 17 minutes. This 7-year-old airplane will soon land. First flight of this airplane was in 2016 in September. And that airplane that you saw in the background behind it is going to be a KLM 737-800 arriving from Venice. Gotta love the A220s. You can see the Bombardier Bizjet heritage in the design. Looking very sleek. In that respect, of course, officially now this is called an Airbus, but originally it was the Bombardier C series. The A350 though is an actual Airbus, and kudos to Airbus for finally designing an airplane that is aesthetically pleasing. Not considering the A220 a true Airbus, but the Bombardier also of course is aesthetically pleasing. Right, Etihad coming in, and isn't that the special livery? Yes, it is the Greenliner livery. I already saw it on Flight Radar this morning when I was looking at what is coming this way. So it isn't the blue, what's it again? I don't follow football. Arsenal or Man United or some other football club livery, but the Dreamliner coming in from Etihad is the Greenliner livery. Also nice. First appearance on the channel, as far as I can remember at least. Might have to make a thumbnail out of that then. Probably better than the so many glide slope shot. even though I'm personally a big fan of them. Right, Etihad 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Abu Dhabi. Up next, if I can find it. Got it. There we go. In the special Greenliner livery. It's a Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Abu Dhabi. 6 hours and 47 minutes underway right now. This is a 3-year-old airplane that had its first flight in the year 2020 in January. Let's see what we will see after that. E2 Embraer coming this way, A320neo, 737, A320. Where's the next heavy? Now you see why I have a preference for streaming in the morning. Get to see much more heavies than in the afternoon. And a 737 from KLM, which I think is going to Helsinki, but the labels are a bit murky over here with all those airplanes. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, going to Helsinki. Again, it should be close by, but oh yeah, there it is. Already hard to see from over here. They do climb rapidly, don't they? Right, well, the Greenliner is coming ever closer. That is a rhetorical question, Gerrit. I don't know where they are coming from. It is remarkable that you see them over here, but yesterday at the other end of the runway, no spiders whatsoever. And Jumbie asks if I've seen the firefighters today. I haven't. They always do their round in the morning or in the beginning of the afternoon, and I haven't seen them. The only people I've seen on the other side have been the sewage removal guys or the truck drivers or sewage cleaning, I should say, and of course the bird control vehicles, the bird controllers. No firefighters. Has been all quiet at the fire station thus far. Alright, the Greenliner, here we go. At least the lighting is in our favor this time of day, with the sun on this side illuminating the livery. But man, also no reversers, all quiet. Now, let's see. Oh, that's like 3 spiders in one web. 2 more in the 3 more. And the dead cat of the mic. Absolutely crazy. Alright, next up will be an EasyJet arrival from Prague, an A320neo. Also a nice relaxing waterfall over here. They have put down some tiles at all these sewage exits, probably to reduce the, what's the word again? Not corrosion. How the Grand Canyon has evolved. What's that term again? Erosion. I was close. Right, back to manual focus. There we go. Focus to infinity. EasyJet A320neo in the Neo livery, arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. Flight time 1 hour 10 minutes. Brand new airplane, Austrian registered, so an Alpine on ATC. First flight was in December 2022, so almost celebrating its first birthday. Let's see, E2 Embraer 195 arriving from the left, behind it an A320 arriving from Manchester, both now parallel flying base. Let me have a look, can I see something visually already? Not yet. Have to say, the cloud still beautifully lit, makes a nice backdrop. Also, airplanes flying in front of it are visible quite well, but still not always easy to see them up ahead. I do think I see one, but they're really tiny. Not sure if we are going to see 1 or 2 of them. Oh, spider on my sleeve, on my cuff. Guess we'll see the 2 now turning final in a minute. I have to say, I am getting very zen with hardly any people over here, hardly any airplanes over here, and that waterfall sound in the background. Makes for a very relaxed atmosphere over here. Ooh, also nice lighting. And Tony, I think you are referring to the reverser slots being open, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are actually using the thrust. Didn't hear anything. It was as quiet as a mouse. And you can see almost all airplanes have open slots for the thrust reversers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can hear the engines actually spool up and that the reverse thrust is actually being applied. And at least I didn't hear anything. The slots were open, but I think it was an idle reverse landing. Thanks for the heads up there, Mr. Jackson. If you're interested in tennis, the ATP finals in Turin are starting. Medvedev is a name I do recall having heard before. Right, 2 airplanes coming up. E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Nice, which is nice, which you knew was coming. After that, A320, and we can see number 3 arriving from the right, 737 KLM arriving from Vienna. Nicely packed together. Is this already fully zoomed in? Yeah, it is. Cool. Classical glide slope shot as in the shot glasses of the special emoji in a straight line. So E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Nice, A320 EasyJet arriving from Manchester, KLM 737-800 arriving from Vienna. All right. Robert is going to get the scorecards out for the glide slope after lunch, so stay tuned for that. For now, we'll have to make do without the scorecards. Next up, EasyJet flight 22163 arriving from Manchester, A320, flight time 46 minutes. 9-year-old airplane, first flight April 2014, and behind it is the 737-800 from KLM, flight 1846, arriving from Vienna in Austria. Flight time 1 hour 29 minutes, and that airplane began flying in November of the year 2000. Meaning it is celebrating its 23rd birthday this month. EasyJet butt shot in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Ja, die Klaas, goedemiddag. Right, next up KLM flight 1846 arriving from Vienna in Austria. Already almost touching down. Nou, Hadi Rian, goedemiddag. Tuning all the way in from Pretoria, South Africa. Goedemiddag Dirk. More spiders trying to nestle over here, building a web. Which is interesting because I haven't seen any flies over here, so what the F are they doing here? Also trying to... This is really bonkers. So a little bit of spider web over here. Spider over there. They're also hanging over here. Yeah, you could probably not see it that well. More spiders. More spiders. They're using my laptop tent to build a web around and hopefully catch something, but I'm not sure if they are succeeding in that. These motorcyclists. Right, well, seems like another few moments to kill, as the next airplane is looking to become the Embraer 190 arriving from Bologna. Windmills in the distance are spinning a little bit. If I try to remove a bit of the webbing, maybe I can access my laptop and show you the latest weather. Alright, let's have another look at the current status quo, shall we? So, first of all, runway usage, let's refresh that. Currently, Polderbaan, the only runway being used for arrivals. We are located right here. Kaagbaan and Asmeerbaan are being used for departures. What is the latest METAR saying? Wind has picked up a little bit. Still under 10 knots, but now more than 5 knots. Predominantly from the south, a little west of south. Few clouds at 2,600 feet. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more and has been all day. Temperature has risen to 9 degrees Celsius, so that is nearly 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The air pressure is building. Now 1,020 hectopascals, and no significant changes in the upcoming 2 hours are expected. I'm copying it so that I can paste it in the ticker after we're done. Refresh of the rain radar over the past hour. We are over here at the yellow square. Still some rain over the sea, but not nearby, and also dissolving as it moves land inward. Right, so the filter for all the heavies and all the quads, we can change that. Have a look at the incoming traffic. So there is a heavy arriving from Shanghai, China cargo, now entering Dutch airspace. As we just saw, all inbound traffic is now coming to this runway, so BizJet probably will land on the Oostbaan, runway 22. Looks like that is going to be the only heavy in a while. We have a Dreamliner arriving from Mexico City that is now just west of Plymouth. Well, not just west of Plymouth, but in the vicinity, relatively speaking. Kenya Airways in the vicinity of Paris, also coming this way, expected in 45 minutes. So that is in fact, the current status quo right now. Let's paste that METAR I just copied into the ticker. Adjust the font size and color. Runway usage. We can get rid of the runway 27 for arrivals and stick with departures 24 and 18 left and 18 right for arrivals. Right, so the METAR now fully up to speed. Rob said, I heard another storm is coming in Saturday. Can show you that. In fact, not sure about a live stream tomorrow. This is the upcoming 24 hours. And over here we are going to see rain beginning somewhere in the early morning already. This is around 9 a.m. local time. And if this comes true, I think we are going to see precipitation all day. So I'm not counting on being able to go out for a live stream tomorrow, unfortunately. Of course, I will look again tomorrow morning, but don't count on it. Not sure yet what Sunday is going to bring. I will have another look tomorrow evening and also Sunday morning early. And hey, 747 going to Oslo. Then I will go around the camera so that I can turn along with the 747, which will be coming this way. Noise. Silkway West, flight 9601, destination Oslo, 747-400, departed 1 minute ago. This airplane is 24 years old, first flight was in February of the year 1999. So we have a millennial in sight. Alright, the tune is beginning to play. Let's listen. Quick walk around the camera. Otherwise I would have been badly positioned to follow this airplane. Embraer 190 arriving from Bologna. And this time of day you can see that works particularly well with the sun behind you. Beautiful illumination of that livery. Alright, next up, a 737-800 arriving from Warsaw. Where are you, mate? Come on. A bit higher. And that 747 Airlines name was Silkway West Airlines that we saw just now. Right, KLM flight 1364 touching down, coming back home from Warsaw after an hour and 34 minutes of flight. John forgot to refresh and thought the stream had 19 likes. I'm counting 329, which isn't bad, but if you haven't done so already but you are liking the stream, don't forget to drop another like. The more the merrier. Also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get informed beforehand about new upcoming streams. Let's have a look. We should be seeing another airplane somewhere over there. The downside of the sun behind me is that I have to keep my hand in front of the screen to not see the reflections. Let me first have a look. Yeah, I do see the airplane visually. Let's just zoom in and see. Bit higher. Well, extremely faint, you can see it. Visually you see it, the approach lights way better. But there you go, our next airplane, albeit faintly visible. For the time being, it looks like that is now the only airplane on the glide slope. Zooming out a little bit. I think the next airplane... Oh, we have Transavia arriving from Iceland. Oh, and that 777 arriving from China is also getting closer by. We might also catch the Transavia returning from Marrakesh, which should be passing left of us, the way the camera is now oriented, over the North Sea and on its downwind leg. Let me see where it is right now. That's always nice to see. Oh, it's still in the vicinity of Leiden, so Paul might be able to see it. Or Sander. Sander even better. Being in Rijnsburg, closer to the sea. Right, for the time being, we'll have to make do with this one airplane. It is KLM flight 1446 and Embraer 175 arriving from Aberdeen. Flight time, an hour and 4 minutes. The airplane is 6 years old. Its first flight was in June 2017. Crossing traffic from the left. Now, the one coot that we saw earlier, I'm not seeing anymore. No other birds in the water still. The water has become even more mirror-like. I bet you we can even see the airplane land in the reflection. Is this it? Or is it? There it is. Reverse ops. But a different meaning. No reversers here. You can see the slots, they have been closed all along. Now, where is that 737? I think it has passed already, or has it? On the camera. So we're now looking for an airplane that is, well, no, I think it is still a bit left to the left. 73, oh shit, it's already at 1800 feet, so that's very close to the horizon. You have to look very... It's probably just above the horizon if we are able to see it at all right now. Trying to see it while also trying to show you guys what I'm looking at, but I think it is a futile effort. I thought it was higher, but it was already at 1800 feet, so it's probably going to do a short circuit, turning base early, and a very short final stint. Looks like it is already semi-turning base. It is going to be the next airplane, so we should at some point be able to see it. I'm thinking it should be somewhere over there right now based on what I see on flight radar. You might be able to spot it against the backdrop of the clouds in the distance. Maybe still a little bit to the left. Not sure, I don't have it yet. If I did, I would zoom into it and show you guys. Alright, well, now at IJmuiden. It was already at 1800 feet, so oh, I have it. It's just above the tower. There we go. It went all ninja on us, but we have it. Our first next airplane on base now. Transavia flight 5756, 737-800, arriving from Marrakesh, where it departed from 3 hours and 26 minutes ago. 13 years old, this airplane. First flight May 2010. Valentijn, Alvin, Mats, good afternoon guys, good to see you all. Today it is definitely a slow burn, just a handful of heavies and also some spaces in between the airplanes. Two queens, one king, all going to the wrong runway, which is a shame because they all arrived within 10 minutes or so. However, we did get to see the Greenliner special livery from Etihad earlier this afternoon. I think the lighting was also quite well around that time. I have to look back to see it specifically, but that is a very good candidate for the thumbnail of today's stream. And Cookie Thai, no worries. Today it's not that cold actually, with the sun shining. Ah, and the next airplane behind it, then didn't even see it before, but glide slope shot establishing, but unfortunately this is already fully zoomed in with the optical zoom. Optical zoom. It is just small planes far away, making it a bit small on the screen. Airplane number 3 should be approaching the glide slope from the left. Transavia 737 arriving from Reykjavik. Now on the glide slope in the foreground, the Transavia arriving from Marrakesh. The number 2 is an Embraer 190 arriving from Bergen. Number 3 will be a 737 arriving from Reykjavik. And there it is, far left. Right, glide slope shot in the making. Meanwhile, with the exception of the moped that you are hearing pass by right now, I'm just about the only person over here right now. Really nice and quiet for a Friday afternoon. No longer seeing the reflection. We did earlier. Was a little bit too late with that. Now, if you just zoomed in, you will see this time of day the lighting is exquisite, very favorable for nice photography and also filming. The sun behind me, not too high, providing. Oh, there you go. They're back. You sneaky little mother. More in my dead cat. There's like 3 or so. Just stroking my dead cat. Trying to get them all out, but it's futile. They have also taken over everything else. Can I show you guys? It's maybe with the low sunshine, the low sunlight, you can also see how they have taken over here. It is actually everywhere. The laptop tent too does not get spared. More spiders. So if you're arachnophobic, don't watch this stream. This is not for you. Mature content, not so much, but the stuff of horror movies. Creepy crawlers everywhere. You get them for free. Now, mate. Thank you so much, Alvin, for your super sticker, per character, cheerfully blowing a party horn. Well, That's not a pair character, that's the spiders that are doing that. Thank you so much for that, but really, you shouldn't have. You know that. You're doing more than enough supporting the channel as a moderator, but thank you so much again, Alvin. Happy to see you on the stream again. I think you've been busy too lately. Right, we have a 737-800 coming in from Budapest up first, and after that it is 777 time. 777 arriving from China. So I'm hopeful about hearing some nice reversers on that airplane. Now. Hey there, Lucas. Goedemiddag. Eva, goedemiddag. Plenty of spiders here today. Think of it as hazard pay for braving the spiders. I'd be out there in the flesh. Well, they're really tiny, mind you. I think you guys probably have ants over down under that are bigger than these little baby spiders are. And so far, no luck. I'm trying to see if I can shoot spider webs, maybe use different mode of transportation getting here from next week on forward, but no luck yet. The web definitely growing. It's also between my camping table and the utility cards. It's everywhere. Right, enough about that, back to business. 777 coming in next, arriving from Shanghai, China Cargo Airlines Flight 205. 777 freighter has been flying for 11 hours and 37 minutes right now. It's a 1-year-old airplane that began flying in April of the year 2022. And thank you, Mr. Jackson, for for your consolation. That definitely did not help. Nah. They are productive little creatures, constantly web building. I guess today wasn't meant to be. I think it was Ryanair with their 737s that thus far take the crown for loudest reverser application. They're all KLM clones in that respect today. Alright, now let's have a look. What is coming up? Got a whole barrage of narrow bodies coming this way. First couple are already visible. Third one is approaching. Now I'm having a look at my wireless mic, And both the battery of the receiver and the transmitter are still working perfectly fine. That is good news. And no, hon, I did not stay overnight. They are just very mobile. Really odd. Also, this airplane banking left and right. Interesting. Last time we checked the meter, there wasn't that much wind. It was mostly headwind, with little to no crosswind component. It's definitely not gusting. Interesting to see them make a few last minute corrections then. Yep. Still waiting for the coming of Jesus, the GEZUS, which is from EasyJet. Lima Alpha Delta turning up the creativity a notch, saying today AMS Live means arachnaphobic mania stream. That's definitely, if somebody ever asks what the abbreviation means, that is what I'm going to say. Now, I'm seeing a little airplane up in the sky, not producing a contrail, but definitely doing something, moving. Doesn't show on flight radar for inbound or outbound traffic. For Amsterdam, looking at the tail, the darkness over there, this is probably Lufthansa. Interesting, because it is definitely at contrail, well, yeah, more or less contrail altitude. To Embraer buckshot coming in. Have a look at the engines if we're allowed to. No photo bombers are interrupting. Now from this angle with the light from the side you cannot see through the engines. Normally if the light is from the front, which it is when standing here in the mornings, you would be able to just see how small those cores are and how much you can see from the front part through the engine. Indeed, Alvin, that bypass ratio. Particularly on the geared turbofans ones. Anyway, KLM flight 1168 is up next, arriving from Helsinki. 737-800. Touching down after 2 hours and 2 minutes of flight. Powerful course, Helsinki approximately 2 hours away. It's funny that there are destinations that are round number hours away from Amsterdam. Helsinki 2 hours, Istanbul 3 hours. And then London, Paris and Luxembourg are roughly equidistant in terms of flight time. 40 to 45 minutes for each. I think Brussels and Düsseldorf are also on par, just under half an hour. Lufthansa 498 Jindrosek is riding. Excellent. Michael asks, where are the CRJs? I think no, that's a C510. I was saying there. I think there's one landing. There's one in the vicinity, but it isn't. We don't see them very often. Yesterday we did. Was it yesterday? I think we did see Lufthansa also flying, taking off with their CRJs. Most of the CRJs we see are from SAS. And most of the SASs that we have seen haven't been CRJs this afternoon. I actually don't know where they are. Maybe they're conspiring with all the heavies, boycotting us. Embraer 175, butt shot incoming. Alright, next up, KLM flight 1110, binary flight number, arrival from Stockholm, 737-900, touching down in a second, flight time 1 hour 37 minutes, airplane 22 years old, first flight September 2001. Michael asks if I can show the Mustang. I think I can give it a go. Let's see. I'm scanning now to see where it is visually, because I'm not seeing it visually yet. It is minute, approaching over the city of Amsterdam. I'm not pointing the camera to where it is, I'm just already zooming in a little bit. Let's see, should be pretty close to the runway already. Maybe I need to look a little bit more over there. Still don't have it. No, it's a bird. I do see something moving. I think this is it. So that's the BizJet landing on runway 22 now. Globe Air arriving from Hanover. The Cessna 510 Citation Mustang, 15 years old, first flight January 2008. This is fully zoomed in with optical zoom. You can see the Corendon Hotel over there. Scarecrow kite not flying. And here we are going to lose sight of it. All right, quick pan back. Embraer 190 arriving from Florence, Firenze. Right. Next up will be a Boeing 737-800 arriving from Barcelona, flight 1670, with a flight time of 1 hour and 55 minutes under its belt as we speak. We'll be touching down in a few moments. The airplane is 15 years old. Its first flight was in January 2008. And we should be seeing an Embraer 190 arriving from Rennes in La France, arriving in the field of view from the left at some point. Let me widen the field of view a little bit. Well, that's gone very wide all of a sudden. Looking at flight radar, it almost seems like it is going to line up, but in actuality it's probably still a bit further out. Take a good look at the nose and you will see that this is the previous iteration of the standard livery with the straight line between the blue and the white from front to back. Of course, there's this curvature nowadays in the new livery. I was told that this was the only airplane in the fleet of KLM still in this livery right now. So something you don't see every day. Oh wow! Larry! WTF! That's a very, very generous super chat there. Thank you so much for that. No text accompanying it, but thank you so much for that, Larry. Very, very much appreciated. Very generous of you. Very generous. Thank you so much, Larry. Now, the sun is getting ever lower above the horizon, as you guys can see. It is now 3:22 p.m. local time. The sun will probably set in an hour or so. Now, the Embraer arriving from Rennes, in the meantime, has shown its face. And runway 27 also being open again for arrivals. That is very unfortunate. Hey Matteo, ciao! Long time no see, come stai? Next up, that Embraer 190 arriving from Rennes. Behind it is going to be an A319 arriving from Luton. EasyJet. Let's see. There we go. Approaching the glide slope. Also from that side, but later will be another Embraer 190 BA City Flyer arriving from London City, which we will probably not capture in the same shot, unfortunately. Sto bene, grazie. Hands are getting a little bit cold, but I do have my heated gloves with me in case I need them. But so far, with the sun shining, that hasn't been necessary. Also, the absence of wind definitely helps. Is that a SkyTeam airplane flying overhead? Still difficult to trace against the backdrop. Let's not try that. No reverse for quiet landing. Schiphol. Looks like it. 777-200 going to Dubai. KLM flight 427. Stephen James asks, any heavy planes coming in to land? Well, have a look on flight radar. It looks like they are boycotting us. Haha, boycott. There were a few. I think we are still due a couple. In fact, we are going to see a Dreamliner arriving from Kenya Airways pretty soon. I'm already looking left of me to see if I can spot it, because we should be able to see it on the downwind leg, and now I'm wondering if that is it or if it is the airplane before it. Is that the Dreamliner already, or is that the preceding 737? Hard to assess. I think it might be the Kenya Dreamliner already. Cannot zoom in with optical zoom any more than I'm currently doing already. Two more spiders on the phone screen on the bottom and the top side. I think that's the Dreamliner, right? That doesn't look like... Nah, the 737 is already further up to the north. Right, that was EasyJet landing just now. Butt shot coming in. That Dreamliner is already moving land inward. It's going to be number 3 by the looks of it. With number 2 over there. That is the 737 from KLM arriving from Madrid. And the number 1 over here. BA City Flyer arriving from London City. Speedbird flight 8453. Embraer 190 flight time 38 minutes. An 11-year-old airplane that had its first flight in July 2012. Okay. (737) arriving from Madrid, already established, and on the far left, the number 2, Kenya Airways Dreamliner, the number 2. In the foreground we have KLM flight 1702 arriving from Madrid, 737-800, flight time 2 hours and 6 minutes as we speak. A 15-year-old airplane that had its first flight in February 2008. B748. Behind it is Kenya Airways arriving from Nairobi, flight 116, a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner with a flight time of 8 hours and 53 minutes as we speak. An 8-year-old airplane that began flying in March of the year 2015. Also coming in is a Dreamliner from KLM arriving from Mexico. Zooming out a little bit and looking to the west, it is flying towards the mainland, still over the North Sea, but also expected to land pretty soon by the looks of it. First up, KLM flight 1702 arriving from Madrid. 15-year-old 737-800 from KLM. Nick spielt so. Optimus Toaster, follow me aviation, good afternoon guys. Public Mousio of airplane. Good day to you too, nice name. Right, well, at 8 to 9 o'clock we see the next airplane further up ahead. It is a narrow body, so there is a bit of separation between the two. An Embraer 175 arriving from Birmingham. Not sure if we are going to see it, but there is a 737 arriving from Newcastle that is now flying base further north. Again, I'm not sure if we are going to see it together with the other two. An Optimus Toaster, that is definitely, most definitely a Flying AMS Live logo that you see over there. Copyright infringement in action. All right. Looks like the Dreamliner arrival from Mexico City from KLM is going to be number 3. Preceding it, 2 narrow bodies, the first of which is an Embraer 175 that we are already seeing. 9 o'clock of it, we can see the number 2, which is a 737-800 arriving from Newcastle. The Dreamliner is still flying base. I'm not sure if we should be able to see it, I think. At some point further up ahead. Maybe it is a bit lower already. That is a bird. A flesh and bone bird. Let's just stick with what we can. Thanks for the pictures, Michael. I will have a look when I'm done streaming and once I get home later tonight. Always nice to see stuff like that. So Embraer 175 arriving from Birmingham. We'll be landing first. KLM 51426. Its flight time 44 minutes. It has been flying now for 6 years, since October 2017, and well, the slots opened momentarily, but did not hear any spooling up. Nice late afternoon sunlight illuminating this side of the livery beautifully. What a difference if you compare that with the first hour of the stream. No, I'm not sure if I can show you the extent to which the laptop tent has been transformed into a spider web already. I think you might be able to catch on it. Conversion to one big ass web. You're also on the side, as you can see. Oh, I have to be careful that my panhandle does not get stuck. Yeah, good stuff. More over there. More over here. Everything is turning into one big ass spider web over here. So the constantly blowing that you are hearing me do is trying to blow spiders off my phone, off my camera. Maybe wipe them off the dead cat of the microphone. But I still don't have a spider sense. I don't feel, or maybe I do have it, but there's no imminent danger. That could also be the case. Alrighty, Dreamliner time. It is KLM flight 686-7879 Dreamliner arriving from Mexico City. Has been flying for 9 hours and 44 minutes as we speak. It will land soon. The airplane has been flying for 7 years now, since March of the year 2016. At 9 to 10 o'clock we see on the far left the next airplane behind it arriving from Brussels. Different ballpark, short flight of less than half an hour probably. Embraer 175. Hadi Liwe, goedemiddag. Did not see your arrival in the chat. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope your weekend has also begun already. Right, let's have a look. What is coming? It's all narrow bodies. Everything on flight radar arriving from the east in the vicinity, it is all narrow bodies. That part of the sky has been forming interesting background since the beginning, and it still does look nice. Not as dramatic anymore as in the beginning, but definitely still looking interesting. Right, now two Embraers. First an Embraer 175 followed by an Embraer 190. After that we are going to see an A320 from Vueling, and then it is back to Embraers again. The Embraer 175 arriving right now is arriving from Brussels. So that is not a long flight. KLM flight 1726. I always wonder how full these airplanes are when they go from Brussels to Amsterdam. Flight time 29 measly minutes. 7 years old. First flight July 2016. Keep pressing the zoom rocker to zoom in, but I am already fully zoomed in with optical zoom. Probably not that occupied, as they are not deploying the reversers today. Indeed, Gendrosek, particularly landing on the Polderbaan, still 10 minutes of taxi ahead of it. Then the taxi time does roughly equate, if not even surpasses the actual flight time. Next up, Embraer 190 arriving from Edinburgh. It is KLM flight 1282. Arriving after a flight time of 58 minutes as we speak. 13 years old. Distinguishable between the previous airplane, the Embraer 175. At first glance, if you look at the winglets, if you look at the size comparatively to the rest of the airplane, and also at the angle, more vertically versus more outward pointing. Of course, from this point of view you can also see the longer fuselage, but those are the most obvious telltale signs to distinguish between the two. Hey, is that another 747 that just took off? Looks like it. That is the Cathay Pacific Cargo 748, it seems like. Already moving away and going to Frankfurt. Ah, is that it, Lieve? Well, they're already quite sparingly using the reversers, those pilots, particularly the KLM boys and girls. In the meantime, Vueling just landed. Right, let's have another look at what is coming. Oh, we're going to see 3 737s pretty soon. So we're switching from all Embraers to all 737s shortly. The last Embraer of the bunch for the time being is this one. It is an Embraer 190 arriving from Bristol, KLM flight 1052, with a flight time of 49 minutes as we speak. The airplane, 5 years old, first flight February 2018. The next batch of airplanes is... well, the first of them is approaching the glide slope. They're all approaching from the left, the west I should say. Question is, can we see them already? Ah, yeah, there we go. The number 2 is also the biggest of the bunch. 3 737s coming. The first one 900, which is this one, and then 2 800s. Now where's that airplane? There we go. Nice, really. I think the other one was longer from that other Embraer 190. I think that definitely looked like it was Captain Wheelie. K2 also coming this way. Another Raptor Ranger. Ranger Raptor, Ford Ranger Raptor. Stoically not responding, or at least I did not see a response while I did wave. The chap from K4 was a bit more friendly then. What's that? Is that an ambulance? Ambulance. It's where the GPs are usually being transported in from the weekend posts that we have in our country. Right. Big picture. The second airplane of the 3 737s also coming this way. A third one should appear also from the left further ahead, but I'm now crouched behind the laptop to see what you guys are seeing, but I'm not seeing it yet. But we will pretty soon enough. Right, so this is KLM flight 1476, a 737-900 arriving from Glasgow. I'm hearing some emergency services sirens further ahead, but I cannot locate where it's coming from. Maybe you can pick up on it on the mic. Looks like it is coming from this direction somewhere. There is a crossing over there somewhere. Yeah, there's the ambulance we saw on the cycling path just now. Now with sirens on. coming this way. Anyway, interesting that they came over the cycling path here when this road is running parallel to the cycling path. And it's a bit difficult, more difficult to reach than just going via the normal road, but maybe they got a new location they need to go to. All right. Shadow selfie. This is KLM flight 936, arriving from Dublin, Ireland, a 737-800, flight time 58 minutes, which is about nominal. The airplane is 12 years old, began flying in May of the year 2011. Alright, Ricardo has to go. Ricardo, fijne avond, see you later. And thanks for joining. Now it's time to switch it up a little, go for another Airbus Neo. Courtesy of EasyJet, flight 27956, arriving from Nice. Again, nice. Flight time 2 hours 4 minutes. Brand new, i.e. less than a year old. We'll be celebrating its first birthday next month. First flight was in December 2023. Austrian registration, so it is an Alpine on ATC. If you weren't aware of the calendar, you would be inclined to think that it is a nice summer evening. Also disregarding the time exactly, but the whole place has been very serene this afternoon compared with what is normally going on over here. Now, let's see. The A380 has become active on the platform. If the orientation is correct that I'm seeing on Flight Radar, it looks like it has been pushed back already. Could you guys give me a shout in the chat if it is moving? I'm not sure. I think it is going to take off from 18 left most likely. Oh, and I'm also seeing a 747 that is also looking to... That is going to Moscow. Okay, Suparna. Could you guys give me a heads up when the Suparna 747 is lined up and also at which runway? Then I know where to turn the camera to. The one going to Moscow will probably take off from runway 24. So it will do the same route as the other 747 we followed earlier has done. And the A380, if it is still open, 18 left, will probably take off from 18 left in favor of runway 24. So we're probably not going to see a lot of its departure either. What is the ETA, by the way, of or the estimated time of departure, I should say, for the A380? Now I'm no longer seeing it. All right. Hey, well, now I see contrails all of a sudden. Already quite far away. Whoa. Careful not to topple over. Standing up very ergonomically, but just to show you, we are able to see some contrail movements. But this is, of course, too far away to see any details. I am seeing a reflection over there. What is that? Haha. One of the next airplanes. The reflection gave it away. That's the 737-700 arriving from Manchester, which is likely going to be number 3. There are more Transavia 737s. Okay, EK is moving. My guess is it's going to move to the threshold of 18 left. And the Manchester airplane is going to pass over the glide slope. Will be landing on the Polderbaan. Interesting. You can see it just above the clouds. Not landing over here, but continuing to. So that is now flying downwind for runway 27 then. Right, looks like 2 more airplanes before the 747. We'll be taking off from runway 24. And we also have another look at what is coming our way. Still seeing narrow bodies, narrow bodies, narrow bodies. So I'm thinking maybe after the 747 and the A380 have taken off, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Alright, first up, Embraer 175 arriving from Inverness. With a flight time of 1 hour and 11 minutes as we speak. We'll be touching down in a moment. A 6-year-old airplane that had its first flight in February of the year 2017. Indeed, Marcel, I saw that as well. Looks like there were 2 more narrow bodies that will probably go ahead of the 747. And then most likely the Suparna will be taking off from runway 24. Going to Moscow. means that it is going to make a right-hand turn, fly west, continue turning to the north and come our way, which means that we can follow it as soon as it is becoming visible from over there. Right, okay, 747 is lined up. The airplane will make a movement to the other way, so let's curl up the wires so we can make the movement to the right and not get tangled. Now, A380 expect runway 24. Okay, cool. Cool. Right, well, next up is going to be Suparna, going to Moscow, taking off from runway 24. The 32-year-old airplane with its first flight in August 1991. There we go. And we can make the entire turn along with it. Hopefully, the A380 will not take off before we're done following this airplane. Well, Rouse, this is not a Dutch airline, right? This is Suparna Airlines. This is Chinese, and Chinese can still fly over Russian airspace, and they can also still fly to Moscow. Now, this airplane is doing something other than what I had anticipated. I was anticipating a continued turn to the right, and it is now turning to the left. Little contrail combo shot, but this is not what I was prepared for. Now moving to the other side, the camera wires will get tangled even more. Stupid mother. All right. Let's switch back the camera so that the wires don't get tangled. That's another departure. Where were we? Oh, there we were. Right, well, enough about the Suparna. I think, let's see, one or two more airplanes take off before the A380 is going to take off from runway 24, by the looks of it. So time to do another quick let's see, scrolling back to the right runway, E2 Embraer 195 coming up next, arriving from Geneva, flight 1930. Looks like it is coming directly towards us. It is crabbing a little bit by the looks of it, or maybe it is just so far away that it looks like it. KLM flight 1930 E2 Embraer 195, arriving from Geneva. Flight time 1 hour and 22 minutes as we speak. The airplane 2 years old, first flight October 2021. Quick look back. Yes, this is going to be the last landing airplane for the day, and then it looks like the A380 is going to be next. Top Air Portugal now on the threshold of runway 24. And after that it is going to be the Emirates A380, which we will have seen arrive and depart in the same stream, albeit from different runways both times. Sad, sad, sad. But there you go. That is runway roulette over here at Schiphol Airport. Exactly, Alvin. You win some, you lose some. I'm already happy that we didn't see a lot of rain today. I'm counting this as one of the dry streams, just to get the numbers up. Otherwise I think that the statistics would be very depressing, but I'm counting this as a dry stream. Right, now I'm not going to follow the airplane any further because I think somewhere over here pretty soon the A380 will appear. Returning back to Dubai, Emirates flight 148. We saw it land as flight 147 on runway 27 earlier this afternoon. Now it is ready to take off again back to Dubai. Of course it is still the same A380, 7 years old. The question is, where is it going to appear? I actually don't know. I'm thinking somewhere around the main tower, or maybe a little bit further. Let's just focus on the area between the two towers. The two towers, wasn't that also the title from one of Tolkien's books? Or was that the three towers? Or was it something different altogether? Think A340 in a late rotation. Well, at least the livery is better visible today. Well, not today on this leg, on its departure. Yeah, I was a bit overly optimistic about runway length needed, I suppose. Maybe it's just full of fat people with heavy suitcases and a lot of booze on board. That's probably it. They've got they do have a bar on board. They probably restocked the bar with bottles of liquor. Ah, so it was the two towers, Anja. Okay, I thought it was the title of one of Tolkien's books. Remember having read them all before, I think even before seeing the films. Now, just to get a little perspective. We're headed back to the two towers, only a bit higher in the sky. Right, well, folks, I think that was it for today. You can see the sun is nearly setting. It does provide gorgeous lighting. I'm not sure if this is already the beginning of that part of rain that is expected for tomorrow. One last look at the weather radar. This is the upcoming 24 hours. Let me refresh the page. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream tomorrow. Don't count on it, because I think we are going to see a full wet day over here in the Netherlands. Looks like the rain is beginning somewhere in the early morning already. This is now 11 o'clock. But, well, you never know for sure. And it is going to, well, as far as the extrapolation goes, end of the afternoon. This is 4 p.m. already local time, so I'm thinking tomorrow probably no stream for me, but I'll look again tomorrow morning. If not tomorrow, I hope to go live again later in the weekend on Sunday, or maybe, well, no, not on Monday probably. So thank you all so much for joining. I had a wonderful afternoon over here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I have. Thanks to everybody who was so kind to donate memberships or become a member, donate super stickers, super chats. Thank you all so much. Your support means the world to me. This channel wouldn't be anything without you guys. So thank you all once again so much for your support. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you saw, don't forget to drop a like if you haven't done so already. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure to hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I go live in the future. Thanks moderators for keeping the chat friendly and accessible as always. And thanks for tuning in. See you all on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and your day. Be safe and speak soon. Bye bye.